Hi, students, let's get started with the subject Social Science, Chapter 9 Family and Community. Love and Dharma are the flower and fruit of family life. Thiruvalluvar. Family, almost all of us live in a family. The family is the fundamental and most ancient unit of any society. In Indian society today, there are several types of families, from joint families to nuclear families. A joint family has several generations living together: grandparents, parents, uncles and aunts, brothers, sisters, and cousins. A nuclear family, on the other hand, is limited to a couple and their children, and sometimes one parent and children. In English, there are not many terms to describe family relationships. We saw some of them in the first paragraph. Indian languages have many more terms. For example, in Hindi there is bua, tau, ta, chacha, mausi, nana, nani, and many more. Some languages, such as Tamil, also have different terms for elder brother-sister or younger brother-sister. But what is the word for cousin in an Indian language? In most Indian languages, you will find that there is no such word. That is because cousins are only brothers and sisters. This emphasizes the deep bonds among all the children in the family. Roles and responsibilities, relationships among family members are based on love, care, cooperation, and interdependence. Cooperation means working together. Each member of the family has a role and responsibility towards other members. For instance, parents are responsible for raising their children to become happy individuals and responsible members of the society. But also, as children grow up, they take on more responsibilities in the home to help other family members, whether parents or a sister or a brother, etc. Through daily practice, children learn to participate in the life of the household. In many homes, children also learn some of the traditions and practices their family has been following for generations. Following our dharma, or doing our duty, has been an important principle of Indian culture. The family is also a school where children learn important values such as ahimsa, dna, giving, save, service, and tyaga, sacrifice. Individuals in the family often give up their own needs to take care of the family's needs. Let us see one such story. Shalini lives with her family in a town in Kerala. Her father runs a small business and her mother is a teacher in a nearby school. Shalini has a younger brother. Her grandmother, Achamma, father's mother, Chittappa, father's brother or paternal uncle, and her Chitti, aunt or uncle's wife, live with them. They have a daughter, Shalini's cousin, who she calls Chinni. Shalini's uncle has just lost his job and her aunt is a homemaker. The whole family was preparing for the festival of Onam. Achamma told Shalini's father that his brother was having financial difficulties, so they were not able to buy new clothes for the festival. When Shalini's parents took her and her brother shopping, they bought new clothes not only for themselves, but also for Chittappa, Chitti and Chinni. As a result, Shalini did not get the silk dress she had expected. She had to settle for a simple cotton one. Achamma explained to Shalini that this is how families support each other and share what they have. Shalini did not mind her simpler dress. She was happy that everyone could get some new clothes. That story was set in Kerala. Let us now travel northeast to a village in Meghalaya. My name is Tenzing. I love the mountains we live in, though life is sometimes hard. My father runs a small grocery store. After my mother became busy in a local handicraft cooperative, making a beautiful traditional fabrics, wood carvings and other items for sale to tourists. My father joined in cleaning the house, taking care of our small vegetable garden and other household chores. Often, he helps my grandmother prepare food for us all. Grandmother always has all sorts of interesting stories to tell me with humor and wisdom. No one seems to understand people better than her. Grandfather helps me with my homework and takes me to the school bus stop. He is also actively involved in social work in our colony and is always offering his help to others. For example, when there is a power failure in our area, he goes and registers a complaint at the nearby office. When our neighbor's house got damaged in a storm, he collected some money from the whole neighborhood to help with repairs. We are lucky that my parents can take care of our basic necessities like food and clothing. When any special expenses come up, I have often seen that they discuss them together. Mother says that we should always try to save some money for any unexpected needs that may arise in the future. Community, families are connected not only within themselves but also with other families and the people around them. Such a group of connected people may be called a community. There are other meanings for community depending on the context. Members of a community come together for various reasons, like celebrating festivals and organizing feasts, weddings, and other events. In some villages, people come together to support each other with agricultural practices like land preparation, sowing, and harvesting. Over time, communities often agreed upon some practices on the use of shared natural wealth and resources such as water, grazing lands, and forest produce. This is the case with many tribal communities. To some extent, this remains the case in village communities in rural India today. Such practices, we may call them rules, though they were rarely written down, have provided communities a secure access to resources. But it also means that all families and individuals within the community have specific duties to perform. Otherwise, the community will not function smoothly. The real-life stories above illustrate community in a rural context. Community is also present in an urban context, although it may function a little differently. Let us see an example from another real-life story. More than 20 years ago, in an area of Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Kamal Parmar, owner of a small auto fabrication workshop, noticed a group of underprivileged children on the street. Some had dropped out of school, while others had never been to school. Kamal started giving them tuition from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. every day after his regular work hours. He also provided the kids with a free dinner. Soon, 150 children were attending those classes regularly and were deeply interested in the lessons. A few teachers from a local school noticed the classes and joined the teaching for a while. One of them observed, "These children don't get proper benches to sit on, have no silence zone, classrooms and the vehicles passing by make lots of noise, yet they pay all their attention to what the teachers tell them." This touched my heart. The love and affection I got from them was unbelievable. Some older children who were attending regular schools also joined as volunteers to teach in Kamal's classes. One of them remarked, "We went there to teach, instead we learned a lot from them." New types of communities have also emerged in the last 30 or 40 years. Residents' welfare associations in many urban areas are examples of communities that make their own rules and regulations. Those could be rules about waste management, cleanliness of common areas, taking care of pets, and so on. People living in the community participate in making such rules and regulations. Communities are ultimately interdependent. The same residents' welfare associations, for instance, will depend on the trading community for supplies and also on municipal workers to handle waste. In our complex societies, everyone depends on a number of other people and communities. We now understand that community is a flexible concept. A few more examples: a JTI, or a subdivision of it, is also often called a community. A group of people of a particular religion, region, common work or interest, especially a smaller group, may also be called a community. For instance, Mumbai's Parsi community, Chennai's Sikh community, America's Indian community, Kerala's scientific community, our school's art community, the village's farming community, and so on. The list is endless. In your school, you may be part of different communities, your class, of course, but also the sports community, the National Service Scheme, the National Cadet Corps, a science or drama club, etc. Thanks for watching.